I've definitely done too many nice guys in the last few years, and it's frustrating because, you know, people always say, well, is that all you do? And actually, ironically, in the old days, pre-Four Weddings, I used to do mainly villains, and no one ever really believed that, or the bad guy anyway. And so, and it's always made, I know, at least Richard Curtis laugh, that people associate Hugh Grant, the character, with the character in his films, which is really him. He is nice, and he knows that I don't fit into that category exactly. So I think he enjoyed and relished creating a character that was nearer to the real me. It's a good part, and I did of course worry that Colin would kind of win the film because his character wins her, and that's very often the case. But I comforted myself with the fact that I thought my character had more juicy lines. I counted them. The best comedy is based on pain, and you know, I think Richard's always known that. Actually, there's quite a painful heart to both Four Weddings and a Funeral and Notting Hill. It's love gone horribly wrong. Someone actually quite suffering, and I think that the fact that Bridget's sort of suffering really in this film is what makes it funny. I did read a book, and I read it as a civilian before I even knew there was a film, and genuinely laughed like a hyena. The main thing, I think, is just that Helen's an incredibly funny writer, and you know, the same story in the hands of a million other writers wouldn't work. I think she's just got an incredibly sharp eye, observationally. But maybe also that conundrum of, you know, a woman today feeling, you know, she's reaching her sell-by date is a sort of almost like a taboo thing that no one had quite dwelt on before in mainstream literature, or certainly not the last 20, 30 years. And so I think she did hit a spot in that respect. We're post-feminism now, we've been through all this, and you know, everything should be completely equal, and yet for some reason it's the sort of undeniably unequal thing. It's the one thing you can't eradicate with any amount of correct thinking, is that boys in their late 30s are happy as Larry, and girls single very often aren't. Luckily, I think in a way the Richard connection in terms of writing the script, and the Sharon Maguire connection in terms of actually being Shazza from the book and being best friends with Helen, aka Bridget, means that you couldn't get a more a filmmaking team that's closer to the spirit of the book. Bridget is definitely prone to falling for the wrong guy, for you know, for bastards. That's her thing, and that's what's lovely about the film. That it's revealed that that's not necessarily an irreversible condition. I think that's what's nice about having Richard as the most recent writer on the film, is that he you know, used to go out with Helen and knows her backwards. He said, and I'm keeping that in. And spent a lot of time with her, and I think, you know, nursed her in a way through, or at least held her hand at moments, crisis moments, while she was writing the novel, and certainly the second Bridget Jones as well. So for him to come in and write the screenplay, or rewrite the screenplay, is absolutely perfect. There's a sort of seamless flow between the two. You keep these things as close to the source as you possibly can, and for instance, my character Daniel Cleaver is based on some bloke, I can't remember his real name, a friend of Helen's and Sharon's. But having said that, I mean, I've known Helen for some years, and I remember I once told her a story which involved me calling someone a dirty bitch, and then when I read the novel, there is Daniel Cleaver doing exactly the same in a sort of similar context. And so there's even a tiny bit of me in that part. So yes, it's all very incestuous.